Welcome to the Drinking Rethink, a podcast designed to help you take a fresh look at alcohol and the role it plays in your life. Whether you're starting to question your drinking habits or simply curious about making changes, this podcast offers a balanced perspective without the pressure of having to think you need to quit entirely.
In each episode, we dive into real conversations about the role of alcohol in your mind, body, and career. We explore topics like reducing stress without relying on alcohol, navigating social situations with ease, and finding satisfaction in making mindful choices. You'll hear relatable stories, expert insights, and practical tips to help you with your own drinking rethink. If you're a regular drinker, it's important to check in with a medical professional before making any big changes to your drinking patterns.
Welcome back to the Drinking Rethink. I'm Kath, joined by my friend and co-host Chris. And today we're talking about something that no one in the workplace really discusses: how alcohol impacts your mental clarity, productivity, emotional intelligence, and leadership aspirations at work.
Yeah, well, we often hear about how alcohol affects health, but what about the professional impact? What if the secret to better focus, sharper decision-making, and success isn't working harder? It's just drinking less.
How about that for an idea? Pretty good. I love it. In this episode, we'll explore some of the neuroscience behind alcohol and cognitive performance, uncover how even small amounts can affect your emotional intelligence and decision-making, and share practical strategies for boosting mental clarity without relying on alcohol. If you want to unlock peak performance at work, this could be the secret hack for you. I'll be honest, Chris, I actually never connected drinking with my ability to perform at work. I always thought I was a pretty high performer, managing well. But once I actually stopped drinking, I realized how much sharper, how much more clarity I had, and that my energy, creativity, and ability to handle stress across so many areas of my life improved. It was an absolute game changer.
Oh, same here. I thought that I always needed alcohol to unwind, but I never considered what it was doing to my focus. When I stopped drinking, yes, it does take a little bit of time to recover, but after that, productivity just skyrockets. Suddenly, I wasn't dragging myself through the days. I was leading around with energy and clarity.
Let's talk a little bit more about the science and the effect of alcohol on cognitive function. Alcohol really affects the brain in more ways than we realise. Studies show that even moderate drinking can reduce cognitive function for up to 48 hours, meaning that one weekend of drinking can impact your performance well into Monday and Tuesday. Imagine what you could be losing if you're drinking every weekend, if you are not actually performing at least at your optimum, or not even suboptimum, until Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week.
It lowers emotional intelligence, which of course we know it's crucial in things like leadership and decision making. So people who are drinking regularly are often less able to read social cues, manage stress, and even just handle workplace challenges effectively.
The funny thing is that we often think of alcohol as a way to relax, which sometimes it temporarily does. It gives us that feeling of relaxation through the artificial dopamine hit. But on the other hand, it does steal our productivity. Alcohol disrupts REM sleep, which is absolutely critical to our overall health, which means we often wake up feeling groggy, sluggish, and unable to think clearly. And if you then look at the impact that that has on your whole day, your whole week, your whole year, your whole career, my gosh, huge.
Professionals who drink regularly are often going to make impulsive or poor business decisions compared to those who don't. So the idea that it helps you in high pressure environments, it's completely false.
So what happens when people cut back? Well, we know, as do a lot of the people that we work with.
Something, Kath, we don't often talk about confidence. Like, many people think alcohol makes them more social or charismatic, but the reality is without it, you actually become more self-assured and present. So there's no more second guessing what you said the night before.
And now let's just share a couple of anecdotal stories from people that we know, Chris, in our life. I had a client who worked in banking. He was done really well in his career, but he wanted to launch his own business. And he realized that his binge drinking on weekends was absolutely holding him back, and that he couldn't launch his own business until he did some work on his drinking. He didn't have the confidence, the trust in himself that his drinking would impact the launch of this business where he really needed to be at peak performance. So he decided to work with me to stop drinking. He is now 2.5 years alcohol free and cannot believe the amazing change that he's had in his life. He's launched a successful business of his own and continued to find more energy, clarity, time, new activities, and, as he said, also new professional perspectives, even ways of approaching problems. So, yeah, absolutely. I say this all the time with clients who make this decision.
I've got a mate of mine who was constantly exhausted in their workplace. He thought it was just part of the job and the hours that he was putting in. Then he just cut back on alcohol, didn't even fully quit, but just changed some of his patterns and realized that his productivity was shooting up. He was outperforming his peers, and he's drank less and less since.
So great. Well, look, if this sort of inspires you to maybe make some changes or want to make some changes to your use of alcohol, here are a few things that might work for you. Maybe you could take a 30-day alcohol period and track how you feel. Sometimes we don't know until we actually take a break from alcohol as to really how it's impacting our lives. Maybe you could start to drink more mindfully or less during the working week. Build more alcohol-free days into the working week and see if you notice a difference between the days you drink and the days that you don't. One of the other focuses is looking at why you're drinking and starting to replace alcohol with other ways to unwind, replacing that evening beer or glass of wine with going and doing some exercise, listening to a podcast, or taking up a new hobby. For me, recently, I've just taken up dancing with some girlfriends on a Monday night, and that is like high vibe, so much fun.
And if you're in a fast-paced environment, just ask yourself, how much sharper could you be without alcohol? Like, the best version of you might be just one rethink away. As always, we're going to give you takeaways. If you want to boost your mental clarity, productivity, and emotional intelligence, here's the things that you could do from today. Experiment with cutting back on alcohol and tracking the difference in your work performance. Prioritize sleep and hydration. That's 2 simple ways to improve your brain function. And try alcohol-free socializing and see if your confidence actually increases.
If you found this episode valuable, share it with someone who might be curious about how alcohol impacts work performance. The more we rethink drinking, the more we unlock our potential. Thank you so much for being with us on the Drinking Rethink today. We look forward to seeing you next time.